Everyone told me I was being played. My best friend Marcus looked me dead in the eye across the coffee shop table and said, "Liam, bro, you're being a fucking simp. Sophia doesn't love you. You're going to end up with nothing." The rain pattered against the window. He was waiting for me to defend her, to argue, to get angry. Instead, I just stirred my coffee and smiled. "Maybe you're right." He blinked. "What? Maybe I'm being played?" Marcus leaned back, confused. "Then why?" "Because," I interrupted, pulling out my phone, "I have my reasons." See, here's what Marcus didn't know. What nobody knew. 3 weeks earlier, Sophia had sat me down in her apartment, her mother beside her, and made her demands crystal clear. "Liam," her mother had said, voice sharp as glass, "if you want to marry my daughter, my family expects a bride price of $100,000 cash, plus a house in the city under Sophia's name. These are non-negotiable." Sophia sat there, perfectly manicured nails drumming on the table, watching me with those dark eyes, waiting to see if I'd break, if I'd stammer, make excuses, beg for time. Instead, I smiled. "Okay." Her mother blinked. "Okay. Yes, I agree to your terms." The room went silent. Sophia's expression flickered, just for a moment, with something I couldn't quite read. Surprise? Disappointment? But she recovered quickly, leaning forward with a sweet smile. "Baby, are you sure? That's a lot of money." I took her hand, looked into her eyes. "For you, it's worth it." She practically glowed. Her mother nodded, satisfied, and I walked out of that apartment thinking one thing. Hook, line, sinker to. My girlfriend demanded $100,000 to marry me. I said yes. Here's why. Chapter 1. Fast forward to the night that changed everything. Sophia's 26th birthday party. I walked into the private dining room, carrying a gift bag with a Cartier bracelet she'd been not so subtly hinting about for weeks. $2,000 I didn't mind spending. After all, I wouldn't be around much longer to spend money anyway. The room was already half full. Her friends clustered in groups, champagne glasses in hand, laughing that performative laugh people do at parties where they're more interested in being seen than actually having fun. And then I saw him, Julian Chun, sitting right next to the birthday girl, his arm casually draped across the back of her chair. He looked exactly like his Instagram suggested. Tall, sharp jawline, designer everything, Rolex catching the light every time he gestured. The kind of guy who'd never struggled for anything in his entire life. Old money, new arrogance. Sophia's high school sweetheart. Her first love, the one that got away. Except, he was back now, She'd told me about him in passing months ago. "Oh, Julian? We dated in high school. He's studying abroad. We're just friends now." Just friends. Right. I watched them for exactly 3 seconds before Sophia noticed me. Her expression shifted, guilty for just a flash, before she plastered on a bright smile. "Liam, you made it." She didn't get up, didn't move away from Julian, just waved me over like I was a waiter she'd been expecting. I walked around the table, set the gift bag in front of her, and kissed her cheek. "Happy birthday, babe." "Ah, thank you." She peeked in the bag, eyes lighting up when she saw the Cartier box. "Oh my God, you didn't." But she didn't open it, just set it aside and turned back to Julian, who was watching me with this amused smirk. "You must be the boyfriend," he said, extending his hand. Julian, old friend of Sophia's. His grip was firm, challenging. "Liam," I replied evenly. "Nice to meet you." I took the seat directly across from them, the only open spot left. Perfect view of the show. Chapter 2. Dinner started normally enough. Appetizers. Small talk. Sophia's friends gushing over her dress, her hair, her everything. I played my role perfectly. The quiet, supportive boyfriend. Smiling, nodding, grateful to be included. And then Julian leaned forward, elbows on the table, and locked eyes with me. Hey, Liam, I've got a question for you. The conversations around us died. Everyone turned. Sophia's friend Jenna, sitting to my left, tensed. Why doesn't Sophia ever post you on Instagram? The air pressure in the room changed. I felt it, that collective held breath. Julian continued, his tone so casual it was almost convincing. I was scrolling through her profile yesterday, just catching up, you know? Saw all these photos from the last couple years. Beaches, brunches, parties, selfies, hundreds of photos. He paused. Not a single one with you in it. Someone coughed. Jenna shot Julian a warning glare. Jules, seriously. But he ignored her, eyes still on me. If I didn't know she had a boyfriend, I'd honestly think she was single. Don't you think that's weird? The table was dead silent. I could feel Sophia's panic without even looking at her. This was the moment I was supposed to stammer. Get defensive. Look weak. Instead, I looked down at my wine glass. Let my shoulders slump. Let the silence stretch just long enough to get uncomfortable. Then I looked up with the saddest, most pathetic smile I could manage. I mean, she probably just likes keeping her personal life private. I get it. I gestured vaguely toward Sophia. Look at her. She's incredible. Way out of my league, honestly. My voice cracked. Just slightly. Just being with her is enough for me. I don't need the validation. God, I should win an Oscar for this. Jenna immediately jumped in, right on cue. See? Julian, stop being such an asshole. That's just how modern relationships work. Not everyone needs to broadcast everything online. Another friend, Maya, I think, nodded enthusiastically. Exactly. Plus, Liam pursued her. Obviously, she's the prize here. You should feel lucky. A few others murmured agreement. The logic was stunning. When they want your money, real men provide. When they want attention, you should be grateful she chose you. When you ask for basic respect, stop being so insecure. It's a rigged game. Heads they win, tails you lose. So I decided to twist the knife. Just a little. I looked up, still wearing that wounded puppy expression. You're right. Sophia is the prize. That's why I didn't make a big deal when she forgot my birthday. The room went silent. Actually silent. Sophia's face drained of color. Jenna started, then stopped. I mean, she apologized, didn't she? I nodded slowly, staring at my glass. Yeah, after I reminded her it was my birthday. The next day, you could hear people's breathing. Julian's smirk grew 3 sizes. Damn, man, he said, leaning back with his arms crossed. That's rough. When Sophia and I were together, she never forgot important dates. Made a whole scavenger hunt for my 18th birthday. He looked at Sophia with this nostalgic smile. Remember that? She was gripping her napkin so hard her knuckles were white. A few people laughed nervously. Nobody defended me this time. And that's when I knew for certain. She was already halfway back to him. Chapter 3. I'll let the moment breathe. Let everyone sit in that uncomfortable silence. Then, slowly, I pulled out my phone. Every eye at the table tracked the movement. I opened Instagram, scrolled deliberately, found what I was looking for. Then I turned the screen toward Julian. Actually, I said, voice calm and even, she does post me. The photo was from 3 months ago. Rooftop bar, golden hour, string lights glowing in the background. Sophia leaning into me, my arm around her waist, both of us smiling. The caption, good vibes, only blue heart. 347 likes. 23 comments. Julian's smirk faltered. I tilted my head, letting confusion cross my face. You said you scrolled through her whole profile, right? Yeah, weird. This one did pretty well. Posted it back in July. I zoomed in slightly on the date stamp. Julian's jaw tightened. The realization was dawning on the faces around the table. I let it hang there for 3 perfect seconds. Then I said, voice light and almost thoughtful, "Oh, you probably just can't see it." I looked at Sophia, then back at Julian. She must have hidden it from you specifically. You know that feature Instagram has, where you can hide posts from certain people without them knowing. The table exploded. Marcus, sitting at the far end, started laughing so hard he had to cover his mouth with his napkin. Jenna's jaw dropped. Maya whispered, "Oh my God." One of the guys, I think his name was David, just said, "Bro." That was it. Just bro. Julian's face cycled through emotions like a slot machine. Confusion. Embarrassment. Anger. I was just asking a question, but I wasn't done. I took a slow sip of water, set the glass down with precision, looked him dead in the eye. It's almost like you're the backup option. Chapter 4. Sophia detonated. She slammed her palm on the table so hard the silverware jumped. "Liam, what the hell is wrong with you?" Everyone froze. I stayed perfectly calm, turned to her with mild surprise. "What do you mean?" "You know exactly what I mean." Her voice was shaking. Rage, humiliation, panic all mixed together. "You're making me look bad in front of everyone." I blinked innocently. I just showed him the photo he said didn't exist. That's not. She was fumbling now, trying to find solid ground. "You're being childish. You're embarrassing me at my own birthday party." "I didn't hide the post from your ex," I said quietly. "That was your choice." Her face went scarlet. Julian tried to step in, probably realizing this had spiraled way beyond his intentions. "Hey, Sophia, seriously, I was just messing around." "I didn't mean to." She whirled on him. "Shut up, Julian. This is your fault." Now he looked stunned. The whole table was a frozen tableau of shock. Sophia grabbed her designer purse, the one I'd bought her for her last birthday, and stood up so fast her chair scraped against the floor. She pointed at me, hand shaking. "We are done." Then she turned and stormed toward the door. Jenna and Maya immediately scrambled after her. "Sophia, wait." "Girl, hold on." The door slammed behind them. 3 other friends exchanged glances and hurried out after them. And just like that, half the party was gone. The remaining guests sat in stunned silence. Someone's phone buzzed. Nobody moved to check it. Finally, Marcus, beautiful, chaotic Marcus, broke the silence. "So, are we still doing cake or?" I flagged down a waiter who was very deliberately pretending he hadn't witnessed a relationship implode. "Yeah, I'll take the chocolate lava cake. And another whiskey. Actually, make it a double." The waiter nodded and fled. David started laughing. Dude, what the fuck just happened?" I shrugged, pulling my phone back out. "I have no idea what you're talking about." I just answered his question. Julian was still sitting there, looking like he'd been hit by a truck. Marcus leaned over, eyes sparkling with barely contained glee. "Liam, be real with me. Did you plan that?" I took a sip of my drink. "Plan what?" Chapter 5. Here's what nobody at that party knew. I wasn't heartbroken. I wasn't blindsided. I wasn't even angry. I've been waiting for this moment for 6 months. See, everyone thought I was in love with Sophia. They thought I was the desperate guy who got lucky. The average-looking tutor who somehow landed a girl way out of his league and was now desperately trying to hold on to her. My friends pitied me. Her friends looked down on me. Even my own mother pulled me aside once and asked, voice gentle with concern, "Liam, sweetheart, are you sure she actually likes you? You seem to put in all the effort." I'd smiled and said, "Mom, I'm sure. She's just not expressive." My mom had looked so sad for me. But the truth was so much better than any of them could have imagined. I've been planning my exit since the day we started dating. Let me take you back. 18 months earlier, I was 24 years old, working as a private physics tutor through an elite agency that catered to wealthy families. The pay was obscene, $1,000 per hour. I worked 4 to 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. You do the math. $60,000 to $70,000 per month, but I didn't live like I was making that kind of money. I lived in a modest one-bedroom apartment in a decent but unremarkable neighborhood. I cooked my own meals, meal prep every Sunday. I took public transportation. I bought my clothes at Uniqlo. I had exactly 3 hobbies: reading physics papers, going to the gym, and playing chess online. My friends thought I was boring. They were probably right. But I had a goal, a very specific goal. $2 million, That was the number I needed to make everything right. Chapter 6. 3 years before I met Sophia, my parents were scammed. Telecom fraud. They got a call from someone claiming to be from the police, saying I'd been arrested for drug trafficking, that I needed bail money immediately, or I'd be charged as an adult, go to prison, ruin my future. My mom panicked. My dad, despite being a rational man his entire life, heard his wife crying and his only son supposedly in danger, and rationality went out the window. They wired $1.5 million. Their entire retirement savings. Gone in one afternoon. I came home from university that evening to find them sitting in the dark. My dad looked like he'd aged a decade. My mom couldn't even look at me. "We're so sorry," she whispered. "We thought you were in trouble." "We thought." I held her while she cried. My dad just sat there, staring at his hands. That night, I made a decision. I'd been accepted to MIT for their PhD program in applied physics. Full scholarship, stipend included. A recommendation letter from one of the leading researchers in controlled nuclear fusion. It was everything I'd worked toward since high school. But the stipend was only $40,000 a year. It would take me decades to make back what my parents lost. So I withdrew my application. I didn't tell them until after I'd already done it. My dad tried to argue. "Liam, no. That's your dream. You can't." "It's just a delay," I said. 2 years. Maybe 3. I'll make the money back, then I'll go. "With what job?" my mom asked. "You're 21 years old with a bachelor's degree in physics. Do you know how competitive?" "I'll figure it out." And I did. I found the tutoring agency. I was good at it, great even, patient, clear. I had a gift for making complex concepts accessible. Within 6 months, I was their highest-rated tutor. Within a year, I was making $70,000 a month. I ran the numbers. If I lived cheap and saved aggressively, I could make $2 million in about 24 months. $2 million would cover what my parents lost, plus enough cushion to make sure they were comfortable. Then I could go back to my original plan. MIT, research, fusion, the future. 2 years felt like nothing compared to the weight my parents were carrying. So I put my head down. I worked. I saved. And then I met her. Chapter 7. I met Sophia on a Thursday afternoon. She walked into my tutoring session with her younger cousin, Emma, one of my regular students. Smart kid, sophomore in high school, aiming for Caltech. But the second Sophia walked in, I forgot Emma existed. She was, God, how do I even describe it? Stunning doesn't cover it. Long dark hair that caught the light like silk. Flawless skin. High cheekbones. Legs that went on forever. She was wearing jeans and a white t-shirt. Simple, casual, and somehow looked like she just stepped out of fashion magazine. I'm not exaggerating when I say every person in that building turned to stare. The receptionist, the other tutors, a dad picking up his kid. Everyone. Sophia was used to it. You could tell. She didn't even notice. She was scrolling on her phone, waiting for Emma, completely oblivious to the effect she had on the room. I fumbled through the rest of the session like an idiot. So, the quadratic formula is, sorry, what was the question? Emma smirked. You were explaining parabolas, right? Yes, parabolas, which are curved. Emma was absolutely loving this. When the session ended, she packed up her stuff slowly, clearly waiting to see what I'd do. I try to play it cool. So, your cousin. That's nice. Family support. Emma's grin was evil. You're the fourth tutor to ask about her. I wasn't asking, I was just... Her name's Sophia. She's 24. She works in marketing. And no, I'm not giving you her number. I wasn't going to. You were absolutely going to ask. I sighed. Can you at least tell her I said hi? Emma shouldered her bag, heading for the door. You're pathetic. But the next week, Sophia came back. And the week after that, always with Emma, always on her phone, always completely unaware that I existed. Until week 4, Emma was running late, texted me saying traffic was bad. Sophia was already in the waiting area. I walked over, heart pounding like I was defusing a bomb. Hey, I'm Liam, Emma's tutor. She looked up from her phone and smiled. Oh, hi. She talks about you. Says you're really good. I try. Smooth, Liam. Real smooth. But she didn't go back to her phone. Do you only tutor physics? Mostly. Some math. Whatever pays the bills. Emma says you have a degree from Stanford. Yeah. So why tutoring instead of like a real job? I should have been offended. But she said it with such genuine curiosity that I just laughed. This is a real job, and it pays better than most research positions. Her eyebrows went up. Really? Really? She studied me for a moment, like she was recalculating something. Huh. That was the beginning. Chapter 8. I pursued her. Hard. Got her Instagram first. Then her number. Started texting. Carefully. Not too eager, not too distant. Asked her to coffee. She said yes. I showed up 15 minutes early, palms sweating like I was back in high school. We talked for 2 hours. I made her laugh. She was smart, sharper than I expected, funny, a little vain, but in a way that was almost charming because she was so unapologetic about it. I know I'm high maintenance, she said, stirring her latte. I like nice things. I like being taken care of. If that makes me shallow, whatever. I'd rather be honest than pretend I'm some low-key girl who's happy with Netflix and takeout. I appreciated the honesty. What do you want long-term? I asked. She didn't hesitate. Financial security. A nice house. Someone who can provide the lifestyle I want. Kids eventually, maybe. A husband who knows how lucky he is to have me. Red flags? Everywhere. But here's the thing. I didn't want long-term with her. I wanted exactly what she was offering. A beautiful, exciting, temporary experience. So I played the part. Flowers delivered to her office. Thoughtful gifts. Nothing crazy expensive, but personalized. A book by her favorite author. Earrings that matched a dress she'd posted on Instagram. Compliments. Attention. Effort. I became the devoted pursuer. And after 2 months, she said yes. We started dating officially. And here's the thing nobody understood. I was attracted to her. Physically, she was everything I'd ever wanted. Spending time with her, being seen with her, sleeping with her, it was incredible. I'm not going to lie and say I didn't enjoy it. But emotionally, I never let myself fall. Because I could see the truth. Sophia didn't love me. She loved the idea of me. The devoted boyfriend. The guy who made good money. The one who would give her the life she wanted. But me? Liam? The actual person? She didn't know me. Didn't ask about my childhood, my dreams, my fears. Didn't remember my birthday. Didn't post me on Instagram because her ex might see. Didn't introduce me to her high school friends. I was a placeholder. A safe option while she waited for someone better. And honestly, I didn't care. Because she was a placeholder for me too. A beautiful distraction while I worked toward my real goal. We were using each other. The only difference. I knew it. Chapter 9. When I turned 20, I made a list. 100 wishes I wanted to accomplish before I turned 30. 6. Date October 10th beauty. I wrote number 6 as a joke. A palate cleanser between the serious goals. I figured it was the least realistic thing on the list. And yet, it was the first goal I actually achieved. 3 months into our relationship, I pulled out that old notebook, found the list, and put a check mark next to number 6. Then I sat there, staring at it. The goal was complete. So now what? I could break up with her, move on, check the box, and move to the next goal. But that felt wasteful. I was enjoying the relationship, even if it was superficial. And it occurred to me, why not extend the experiment? 7. Successfully exit the relationship on my terms. Not hers. Not when she got bored or found someone better. On my terms. When I was ready. When I had achieved what I set out to achieve. It became a challenge. A game, an experiment in human behavior. And the results were fascinating. Chapter 10. 6 months into our relationship, Sophia's mother invited me to tea. Formal. Serious. Her mother was a woman who'd clearly been beautiful once and was determined to extract maximum value from her daughter's beauty while it lasted. She didn't waste time with pleasantries. Liam, Sophia tells me you're serious about this relationship. I am. Then we need to discuss expectations. She laid it out like a business transaction. $100,000 cash as a bride price. A house in the city, minimum 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, under Sophia's name. A wedding with at least 200 guests. A honeymoon in Europe. I did the math in my head. Roughly $400,000 total. More than a third of what I'd saved. Marcus, when I told him later, lost his mind. Dude, that's insane. She's treating you like an ATM. This is financial abuse. But I just shrugged. It's traditional in some cultures. Your culture doesn't do this. True. So why are you agreeing? I looked at him, really looked at him, and decided to tell him just enough truth to be interesting. Because I'm not going to marry her. He blinked. What? I'm not going to marry her. Marcus. I'm going to agree to everything. Let her think she's won. And then I'm going to leave. When I'm ready. He stared at me like I'd grown a second head. That's insane. Why not just break up with her now? Because I'm not done yet. Done with what? I smiled. The experiment. I agreed to all of her mother's terms. Smiled. Shook hands. Promised I'd start saving immediately. Sophia beamed. She kissed me in front of her mother, whispered, I love you. It was the first time she'd said it. I said it back, and I felt nothing. Chapter 11. Everything changed when Julian came back. Sophia mentioned it casually one morning. Oh, by the way, Julian's back in town. Remember I told you about him? High school boyfriend. Yeah, I remember. He wants to grab coffee and catch up. That's cool, right? Red flag. She'd never asked permission before, which meant she knew this was different. Of course, I said. Have fun. She looked almost disappointed that I didn't object. You're not. I don't know, worry. I kissed her forehead. Should I be? No. Of course not. We're just friends. Then I'm not worried. She went to coffee with Julian. Then drinks. Then a group hangout with old high school friends. Then a party. Her Instagram came alive. Photos at rooftop bars. Throwback pictures of her and Julian from high school with captions like the golden days sparkles. Close-up shots of fancy dinners at restaurants I'd never been to. And me? Still absent from every single post. But here's the thing. I didn't get jealous. I got interested. This was the end game approaching. I could feel it. And then, 3 days before Sophia's birthday party, I got the email. Subject, congratulations on your acceptance to MIT PhD program. I'd reapplied. Secretly. Spent the last 6 months updating my application. Retaking the GRE. Reaching out to professors. Rewriting my personal statement. I didn't tell anyone. Not my parents. Not Marcus. Certainly not Sophia. And I got in. Full scholarship. PhD program in applied physics with a focus on nuclear fusion. Start date, 6 weeks from now. I read the email 3 times. Then I closed my laptop and smiled. Chapter 12. The morning after the birthday party disaster, my phone exploded. Sophia, we need to talk. Sophia, I'm serious, Liam. Sophia, you can't just ignore me. I didn't respond. I was busy packing. Clothes, books, laptop, the essentials. Everything else, I'd deal with later. Marcus, bro, are you alive? Marcus, Sophia's friends are blowing up my DMs asking where you are. Marcus, this is the greatest thing I've ever witnessed. I texted him back. I'm fine. Talk later. 2 days passed. Sophia's texts went from angry to confused to worried. Asterisk. Are you really just going to throw away everything we built? I know I messed up, but we can talk about this. Asterisk, asterisk. Liam, please. On day 3, Emma showed up at my apartment. I opened the door to find Sophia's 15-year-old cousin standing there with her arms crossed. She sent you? I asked. Yep. What does she want to know? If the MIT thing is real. I nodded. It's real. Emma studied me. Then she started laughing. Full on, doubled over laughing. Oh my God, you actually did it. You played her. I didn't play anyone. Liam, come on. You let her think you were this desperate guy who'd do anything to keep her. And the whole time you were planning to leave. I shrugged. I had my own goals. They didn't include her long term. Emma shook her head, still grinning. She's losing her mind. She thought she had all the power. Thought you'd come crawling back. I'm sure she'll be fine. Julian's already back in the picture. Oh, he is. She went to his place last night. There you go. Everyone wins. Emma gave me an appraising look. You're kind of cold, you know that? Maybe. She turned to leave, then paused. For what it's worth, I think you're the first guy who ever saw through her. That night, Sophia showed up. I'd been expecting it. She looked smaller somehow. Vulnerable. Eyes red. Why didn't you tell me? Tell you what? That you were leaving. That you got into MIT. That you were just gone. I leaned against the doorframe. Would it have changed anything? She flinched. I don't know. Maybe. We could have. Sophia. I kept my voice gentle. Be honest. Were you ever actually planning to marry me? Silence. Or were you just waiting to see if Julian wanted you back? Her eyes filled with tears. That's not fair. Isn't it? She looked down. I did care about you. I know. Just not enough. And you. She looked up, angry now. Did you ever actually love me? Or was I just some experiment? I thought about it. Really thought about it. I cared about you too, I said finally. You're beautiful. Fun. Being with you made a hard 2 years more bearable. I'm grateful for that. But you didn't love me. No. She made a sound that was half laugh, half sob. So we were both just using each other. Yeah. At least I feel bad about it. I smiled sadly. Do you though? She stared at me for a long moment. Then she turned and walked away. I watched her go and close the door. Chapter 13. I moved to Boston 2 weeks later. Gave my parents the money I'd saved, minus what I needed for living expenses. My dad cried, Liam, this is too much, we can't. It's done. It's yours. Buy the house you always wanted. Retire. Enjoy your lives. My mom just held me. You sacrificed so much. I didn't sacrifice anything. I delayed. There's a difference. MIT was everything I dreamed it would be. Hard, challenging, exhausting. I loved every second. My research group was working on plasma confinement for fusion reactors. Cutting-edge stuff. The kind of work that might actually change the world. I threw myself into it completely. 14-hour days. Sleeping in the lab sometimes. Living on coffee and the pure thrill of discovery. This was what I was meant to do. This was who I actually was. Not Sophia's boyfriend. Not the guy playing relationship games. Just me. Liam Chun, PhD candidate, trying to help solve the energy crisis. 3 months after I moved, I got a notification. Sophia had posted a photo. I almost didn't click it, but curiosity won. It was her and Julian, smiling, his arm around her. Caption: sometimes the right person was there all along, 2 hearts. 2,000 likes. I stared at it for a few seconds. Felt nothing. No jealousy. No regret. No anger. Just a mild sense of, good for them. I closed Instagram and went back to my research.